there, and welcome back to the channel. So I'm back here behind the drums today. It's actually my birthday, and I'm 55 years old, and I thought I'd come up here and do something productive. It's kind of a cool way to spend your birthday evening. I already spent the whole day with my family, and we're crazy. We'll probably stay up late even tonight hanging out. So right now I'm working. Alright, so here's what I've done. And if you've never watched this before, it's a good way to get caught up to speed if you want to record your drums on the Zoom. Because I think this method works really well. And it's a famous method. It's Glenn Johns' method, and he used it to record John Bonham multiple times. You know, most of the Led Zeppelin records are, I think the first album was one mic, Led Zeppelin 2 was 2 mics, and then from then on it was 4 mics, and they may have gotten into more microphones later because they were crazy, but most of the time when you're hearing him drum, it's the 4 mic Glenn Johns system. And this is partially based on the Recorder Man system as well. I'll explain in a second. So what happens here, you get a bass drum mic. I've got it connected right there, and I've got it about, you know, almost about 8 to 10 inches away from the head. It gives like some ambient tone in the room. The heads are sealed. I don't know why, but it works, and it just sounds good. When I get it too close, it's too much, I don't know. It just sounds deeper, richer, even fatter, and like sounds like you're closer when you go a little further away. I don't know why. It's something to do with, you know, acoustics. Maybe it's the, what do you call it, the proximity effect? I have no idea. But anyway, that was a CAD KDM 420, I think it was called. It doesn't exist anymore. It's like you can't find it, but I'm sure you could find a pretty cheap bass drum mic like that, you know, that focuses on the low frequency. So that's step 1, and then that goes into channel 4 on the Zoom, and there's no special preamp or anything. It just goes right to the Zoom, and I'll put the gain wherever it needs to be, you know, and then we got the channel strip. It'll be at 0. Next, we can talk about this mic here and this microphone here, and I'll actually adjust it in real time. So this is where it's sort of like Recorder Man. Recorder Man is only 2 microphones. It's an overhead system. So you have, like, I've got 2 ribbon mics. These are Cascade fat heads, and unfortunately I don't think this company exists either. I know CAD still exists, but that mic, I don't know if they changed the model. But this company I think is out of business, unfortunately. They're out of maybe New Jersey or something like that. I bought these a long time ago, but they're fantastic, and they've been workhorses, and I'm bummed that they're gone. But anyway, what you do, take your 2 drumsticks in the middle of your head, and you want that mic to just barely touch that drumstick, you know, just barely come down. So I'm going to lower the mic a little bit. I may not get this perfect right now just because there's no need, but I want to show you how it works. Okay, so getting closer, a tiny bit more. A skosh, as my friend used to say. I'm probably grimacing like the Incredible Hulk trying to get that thing to slide down a 1/4 inch. Okay, so that's pretty darn close. It's like hovering, you know, a little bit away from the front of the mic. Now I'm going to take the 2 drumsticks in this position without moving it on the head. It can't move at all, or this won't work. You just shift to this mic, and it's about 1 inch away from being beautiful. So there. Now it's looking good, I think. Nope, not enough. It's very deceptive, and it's tricky to get this exactly right. There. So you got the same thing, equidistant from the bass drum, snare, these 2 mics. And you can just turn this one sort of towards the bass drum because it's supposed to be covering this part of the kit. I add this because it's more like the Glenn Johns method. Sorry, mouth is dry. So you got the bass drum out there, and then I've got a large diaphragm condenser mic on the snare. Oh, and this mic is going to number 3 over here, input 3, with no extra gain or anything. I mean, no extra preamp. And then this one goes to number 2. So I think of it as like snares number 1, this overhead's number 2, this overhead's number 3, bass drum 4. I don't know why. And then finally we've got number 1, the snare drum. That one is the large diaphragm condenser, like I was saying. This one is made by AKG, and it's a P220. I don't think it exists either, but it's nothing that great, but it's $100. This one was $100. These are like $250, and that one was like $40. So I got my whole mic set up for not much money, and it's, you know, pro sounding microphones, not garbage. Okay, so this microphone, I've got it rolled back 20 dB, so I flipped that switch, and I've got it about 4 inches from the edge of the snare. I might lower it a little bit. This is not fully dialed in yet, and that one is connected to the Rane MS1B preamp, which I love. Nice and neutral sounding, and it was like $150, brand new. Well, that thing's just been a workhorse as well. And then that goes back to number 1 here on the Zoom, and on that one you got to slide that fader down, because, you know, and the gain will be all the way off. We're getting all our power, our millivolt power from that preamp. Alright, so 4 mics, very simple. We've got the headphones connected, and I'm coming out of the Zoom on the left side, which makes it a mono output to a mono input on that KV3 over there, so that you will be able to hear the nightmare that goes on inside my head as I'm trying to track this stuff. And here's my little special microphone, my little special drumstick that has the marks. This is my 4-inch mark for the snare drum. This is an 8-inch mark that I use for the guitar amps, and I also use it sometimes for this. And then I have my drumsticks to measure these 2 mics. It's very advanced stuff, you know. It's like the Egyptians. I'm that incredible. It's like you don't even need any kind of special, you know, technology. It's just sticks and stuff. It's more like a primitive cave dweller. But I found out that they didn't really live in caves. So, all right. Let's see what happens here. Headphones on. August 23rd. I'm share a birthday with Rick Springfield. I know there's some other like famous rockers I'll share a birthday with, but I share a birthday with him. And I remember my sister was like super into Rick Springfield because she and her friend Kristen Pizik, sorry, I didn't mean to mention her last name, Kristen, but they would watch General Hospital together, and they were like super into Rick Springfield. He played Dr. Noah Drake. And I remember being like really jealous that these women were so excited about this guy. I was like, wow, how do you get girls that excited? It's like the same way I felt when I saw how everybody got so excited about David Cassidy, you know. And so when we moved to Houston, and then they had his records and everything, and so we moved to Houston. And I actually thought he was really good, but I didn't want to admit that I liked him because, you know, you weren't supposed to like that kind of stuff if you're a guy. And so, but I thought he was a good, that first album was, you know, cool. And so we went to, I took my sister to see the show. He came to Houston, Rick Springfield. And Corey Hart opened, the Canadian singer. He was awesome. He said he was sick or whatever and still sang really well. I was like impressed with his singing voice. And then Rick Spring came out and just destroyed. And I think the guitar player that's on, I forgot his name, Tim Pierce. He was the guitar player that night. But man, they smoked, they killed. I was like completely blown away. I didn't know they were like that good. I didn't know he was like that kind of performer. But he had been in a cool band in Australia, and he's like a real rocker. So he was known as like a pop performer, and you know, he kind of fit that or whatever, because he was good looking, and he was known for being on that show. But he actually was a real rocker. So I salute Rick Springfield on our mutual birthdays. He's living in Malibu, so he's doing just fine. All right, so now let's rock this. I mean, this is going to be pathetic. I should warn you up front. This song is pretty hard for me. It's in 6/8 time, but I'm excited about it. It's like I think it might be my favorite drum part I've ever come up with for one of these tunes. But it's going to be, you know, not very good. So please don't judge. I'm just trying to show you, you know, the goal of what I'm going to try to record for the tune, and you can hear what kind of goes on inside my head when I'm doing this. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I goofed up a lot, mainly on the transitions. The transitions to that breakdown part, that middle 8 section there, I go, I'm your man. That dun, 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 dun. And so that part goes, it's like, shoot, I don't want to do it right. Anyway, I don't want to drag this on too long because I'll be recording it soon. I'm going to take a couple more days, to work on it and try to perfect it. As you can see, I've got a lot of work to do. It's the transitions, just on that one part, because before I was having trouble transitioning back to just the basic beat, the verse beat, the do ga do ga do ga do. I was having trouble coming back to that after all the other stuff that goes on in the chorus. That I like the way that chorus feels. And then I love the section, the little middle 8 section, because I already liked that section. And then I like the bass drum work. All right, so that's how I record the drums. It's only 4 mics. I do have this extra, Rain preamp going, but other than that, and you don't need that, you don't have to have that. It's just that this microphone needs phantom power, and the Zoom just doesn't, the Zoom doesn't put out enough phantom power to really, deliver. So I connected to that extra preamp. But anyway, you don't have to have that, especially if your mic is not, you can stick a 57 right on top of here or whatever you want to do. The point of it is that it's a cool way to mic drums. I think you get some good room, like especially if you have a really good room or you're a really amazing drummer, which I'm not, but if you are, that's how it was, John Bonham was able to show off this technique because he's such a great drummer. And this technique kind of creates air and like a lot of room tone. I guess because the mics are off of the kit, you don't have a lot of close miking, so you get like a lot of room tone. It's brilliant. All right. Thank you very much for hanging with me, giving me support. It's like a special day, being your birthday and everything. I feel really fortunate to have, got myself together in my 20s, and I'm still here at the age of 55, healthy. Hopefully that continues on, and I hope that all my people watching are healthy and feeling great at whatever age they are, because age is just a number, friends. All right, next time.